Welcome back, young explorer. Ready for another deep dive? Today we're going on a dazzling adventure, a journey into the world of precious gems and a game called Splendour.
That's right.
I know how much you love science and math, and today we'll discover how those fascinating subjects intertwine with the allure of sparkling stones and the thrill of trading.
We'll be traveling back in time, all the way to ancient civilizations who first unearthed these treasures from the heart of the earth.
Wow.
Imagine those early humans, their eyes widening in amazement as they discovered emeralds, diamonds, sapphires, onyx, and rubies, each gem a unique masterpiece of nature.
Emeralds, diamonds, sapphires, those names sound so grand and mysterious. Were these gems always so valuable?
Well, imagine you're an ancient explorer trekking through rugged mountains or venturing deep into caves. Suddenly, you stumble upon a cluster of stones. Their colors so vibrant they seem to glow from within. Wouldn't that be a remarkable discovery?
It certainly would. But how did those stones hidden away in the earth become so valuable?
Their beauty, for one. These gems, unlike ordinary rocks, possess a captivating brilliance and a range of colors that mesmerize people throughout history. But their value also stemmed from their rarity. Unlike common stones, these gems were found only in specific locations and often required great effort to extract.
So it's like finding a hidden treasure chest,
Exactly.
something rare and precious that not everyone possesses. I can see why those ancient civilizations would have treasured these gems.
And as these civilizations grew and began trading with each other,
Right.
these precious stones became valuable items of exchange,
Oh.
traveling across vast distances, much like the spices and silks that were traded along ancient routes.
So these gems became like a form of currency, a way for people to exchange goods and build wealth. It's fascinating. And I bet this is where our game, Splendour, comes in, right?
You're absolutely right.
Wow.
In Splendour, we step into the shoes of wealthy merchants during the Renaissance, a time when trade flourished across Europe and beyond. And guess what was one of the most sought-after commodities? What?
You guessed it, precious gems.
So it's like we're traveling back in time to become Renaissance gem traders, competing to acquire the most valuable stones and build the most successful trading empires.
Precisely. In Splendour, just like those Renaissance merchants, you'll acquire mines, represented by cards in the game, each producing a different type of gem. You'll need to make wise choices, manage your resources carefully, and strategize to outwit your opponents.
This is getting exciting. So we've got our history lesson about the gems, and now we're about to become Renaissance merchants. But before we delve into the game itself, can we learn a bit more about how those ancient gems traveled from the mines to the bustling marketplaces?
Of course. Imagine those ancient trade routes stretching across deserts, mountains, and seas.
Okay.
Merchants used camel caravans to traverse scorching deserts, sturdy ships to navigate treacherous seas,
Wow.
and even traversed treacherous mountain passes to transport these precious stones to new markets. It sounds like a real adventure, fraught with danger and excitement. Those merchants must have been brave and resourceful to embark on such journeys.
Indeed. And just like in Splendour, where you collect sets of gems to gain points, those merchants aim to gather a variety of these precious stones to offer to their customers in far-off lands.
So it's like a giant puzzle, figuring out the best routes to take, the right gems to acquire, and the most profitable markets to reach.
Exactly. And remember, those rough stones, fresh from the mines, needed a little something extra before they could be transformed into the dazzling jewels we see today. Just like a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly, those rough stones needed skilled hands to shape and polish them.
So it's not just about finding the gems, it's about crafting them into something even more beautiful and valuable. But who are those skilled hands that perform this transformation?
That's where artisans come in. They were the master craftspeople who possessed the knowledge and skill to cut, shape, and polish those rough stones, revealing their inner brilliance and transforming them into exquisite jewels.
It's like they were unlocking the hidden beauty within each stone. Much like an artist reveals the beauty in a lump of clay or a block of marble.
Yes,
And in Splendour, these artisans play an important role too, right?
absolutely. They represent those skilled craftspeople, and they contribute to your success as a merchant. In the game, they are represented by bonus points that enhance your collection and increase your prestige.
It sounds like building a successful gem trading empire requires a combination of factors. acquiring valuable gems, transporting them safely, and having skilled artisans to craft them into magnificent jewels.
Precisely. And just like a Renaissance merchant had to be a shrewd businessman,
Uh-huh.
you'll need to utilize your math skills to succeed in Splendour.
Math skills, you mean like adding and subtracting?
Exactly. Each mine, represented by a development card in the game, has a cost in gems. You'll need to add up those costs and then subtract any bonuses you have from your artisans to figure out how many gems you need to acquire that mine.
So it's like figuring out if you have enough money to buy that shiny new toy you've been wanting.
Yes.
You have to add up the cost.
It's.
And then see if you have enough saved up.
That's a great analogy.
Go ahead.
It's all about managing your resources wisely, both in the game and in real life.
This is getting really interesting. It sounds like Splendour is not just a game. It's a journey into history, a lesson in economics, and a chance to test our math skills, all while we immerse ourselves in the world of precious gems.
Exactly. And now that we've laid the groundwork, are you ready to learn the rules of Splendour
Yes!
and embark on your quest to become a master gem trader?
Absolutely. Let's dive into the game and see what treasures await us.
All right, young merchant, let's set sail for the bustling markets of Splendour, where fortunes are made and empires are built on the brilliance of precious gems. Imagine a table before you laden with shimmering tokens, emeralds, diamonds, sapphires, onyx, and rubies. These represent the very gems you'll be trading. Each pile a colorful treasure trove waiting to be claimed.
Wow, it's like having a rainbow of riches right at our fingertips. But I bet it takes more than just grabbing a handful of gems to win this game. There must be rules and strategies involved, right?
You're absolutely right. Splendour is a game of calculated moves. Much like a skilled merchant, carefully selecting which goods to buy and sell. On your turn, you have 4 choices. 4 paths to expand your gem trading empire.
4 paths. That sounds intriguing. What's the first path we can choose?
The first path leads to the gem mines themselves. You can acquire gem tokens, those sparkling tokens we mentioned earlier, to add to your collection. But even here you have a choice to make. Do you diversify your portfolio, like a wise investor spreading their wealth across different ventures?
So we could take, say, 1 emerald token, 1 diamond token, and 1 sapphire token. That way we have a little bit of everything.
Exactly. That's one option, gathering a variety of gems to keep your options open. Or you might observe that a certain color is in high demand. Perhaps many players are seeking rubies to purchase a particular card. In that case, you might choose to take 2 ruby tokens, but only if there are at least 4 remaining in the pile.
Ah, so it's like a race to snatch up those valuable gems before they're all gone. It sounds like we need to be observant and strategic, just like those real-life merchants. What's the second path we can choose?
The second path leads us to the heart of our trading operations, the development cards. These cards represent mines, transportation, and artisans, the building blocks of a successful merchant empire.
So these cards are like investments in our business, helping us acquire more gems and become more powerful traders.
Precisely. And these development cards come in 3 levels, much like starting with a small shop and gradually expanding into a grand emporium. The higher the level, the more valuable the card and the greater the bonuses it provides.
It's like climbing a ladder of success, step by step, building our empire from the ground up. So how do we acquire these development cards?
That brings us to our next 2 paths. You can choose to purchase a development card outright, using the gem tokens you've collected. Imagine it as using your hard-earned coins to buy a new shop or a faster ship for your trading fleet.
That makes sense. But what if we don't have enough gems yet to buy the card we want? Is there another option?
Ah, that's where the 4th path comes in, reserving a development card. It's like setting aside a particularly promising mine or trade route, ensuring that no one else can claim it before you're ready.
That sounds like a clever strategy. It's
Yeah.
like calling dibs on the best toy in the store before your friend can get to it. But if we reserve a card, does that mean we can't use those gems for anything else?
That's right. Reserving a card requires a bit of a sacrifice. You're essentially setting aside a portion of your treasure for a future investment, but it comes with a valuable perk, a gold token.
Gold tokens. Those sound like they could be really useful. What can we do with them?
Gold tokens are like wild cards, those special cards in a deck that can be used to represent any card you need. In Splendour, gold tokens can stand in for any gem color when you're purchasing a card.
Ah, so they're like our emergency reserve, ready to bridge the gap when we're just a few gems short of buying that coveted development card.
Exactly. They provide flexibility and can be a lifesaver in those crucial moments when you need just one more gem to complete a purchase.
Okay, so we've got our 4 paths. Acquiring gem tokens, purchasing development cards, reserving development cards, and using those handy gold tokens as wild cards. But what about those nobles we talked about earlier? How do they fit into all of this?
Ah, the nobles. They represent the pinnacle of prestige and splendor, those influential figures who are impressed by your success as a merchant. Imagine them as wealthy patrons of the arts, eager to support those who display exceptional taste and accomplishment.
So it's like winning an award for being the best gem trader in the city.
Exactly. And just like a real award brings recognition and accolades attracting the attention of a noble in splendor, brings you prestige points, those valuable points that bring you closer to victory.
But how do we attract these nobles? Do we have to invite them to lavish parties or shower them with gifts?
Thankfully, it's a bit simpler than that in Splendor. Nobles are drawn to players who have amassed a certain combination of bonuses from their development cards. It's like showcasing a dazzling collection of jewels, proving your expertise and refined taste.
So it's not just about collecting gems. It's about building a well-rounded and impressive collection. That will catch the eye of those discerning nobles. But how do we know which nobles are available and what they require to bestow their favor upon us?
At the start of the game, a certain number of noble tiles, each representing a different noble, are revealed face up on the table. Each noble tile displays a specific combination of bonus symbols, emeralds, diamonds, sapphires, onyx, and rubies. If the bonuses from your development cards match the requirements on a noble tile, you attract that noble's attention, and they will grant you prestige points, without costing you any actions or tokens.
Wow, that's like a bonus prize for building a well-rounded and impressive collection. So we need to keep an eye on those noble tiles and try to acquire development cards that match their requirements.
Exactly. But remember, focusing solely on attracting nobles can sometimes distract you from building a strong foundation for your empire. It's like getting so caught up in winning a trophy that you forget to train and improve your skills.
So it's all about finding a balance, right? We need to build our engine, as you called it earlier, by acquiring development cards that generate resources and bonuses. But we also need to keep an eye on those nobles and seize opportunities to gain their favor.
Precisely. It's like a juggling act, managing multiple priorities and making strategic decisions that will lead you to victory.
This is getting really exciting. So we've got our gems, our development cards, our gold tokens, and our nobles. It's like all the pieces of a grand trading empire are coming together. But I'm still a bit fuzzy on how we actually win the game. What's the ultimate goal?
The first player to reach 15 prestige points triggers the end of the game. Then, after everyone has had an equal number of turns, the player with the most prestige points claims victory.
So it's a race to the top, but with a twist. You have to be strategic about collecting those prestige points, while also keeping an eye on your opponent's progress. We can't just hoard gems or chase after every noble that catches our eye. We need to be mindful of the bigger picture and build a sustainable trading empire.
You're catching on quickly. Splendor is a game of calculated risks, careful planning, and a touch of opportunism. It's about balancing short-term gains with long-term goals, just like a successful merchant in the real world.
This is all starting to make sense. But I'm eager to delve deeper into the heart of Splendor, to uncover the secrets. That will make us master gem traders. Are you ready to share some expert tips and tricks? That will help us outwit our opponents and claim victory in this gem trading adventure.
Let's open the treasure chest of Splendor strategies and see what gems of wisdom we can uncover.
All right, I'm ready to unlock the secrets of Splendor and become a master gem trader. What are some of those expert tips and tricks you mentioned?
Well, young merchant, one key to success in Splendor lies in building a strong engine early in the game.
An engine? I thought we were trading gems, not building machines. What does an engine have to do with gem trading?
Think of it this way. An engine is something that generates power and helps things run smoothly. In Splendor, your engine is your collection of development cards. The bonuses they provide help you acquire more valuable cards later on, creating a cycle of growth and prosperity.
So it's like those first few shops you open in a new city. They may not make you rich right away, but they generate income that you can use to invest in bigger and better ventures.
That's a great analogy. And just like a wise merchant chooses their investments carefully, you need to select development cards that work together harmoniously, like gears in a well-oiled machine. Look for cards that offer bonuses and the colors you need for higher-level cards. It's like creating a chain reaction, one card making the next one easier to acquire, and so on.
So it's not just about grabbing any card that catches our eye. It's about planning ahead and building a system that will generate more and more resources over time. That makes sense. But sometimes those higher-level cards seem so far out of reach. Is it ever a good idea to reserve them early on, even if we don't have enough gems to buy them yet?
Ah, that's a clever question. Reserving cards is a strategic move, like a merchant securing a valuable trade route before their competitors can get to it. It can be a brilliant tactic, especially if you spot a card that offers a unique bonus or helps you attract the favor of a particular noble.
But I remember you saying that reserving a card means tying up our resources. It's like setting aside a portion of our treasure for a future investment. How do we know if it's the right move?
You need to weigh the potential benefits against the immediate costs. Ask yourself, will reserving this card slow down my engine building? Will it prevent me from acquiring other valuable cards that I could purchase right now? If the answer is yes, then it might be wiser to focus on building your engine first and then reserve that high-level card later when you have more resources.
So it's all about timing and opportunity. We need to be patient and strategic, just like a real merchant waiting for the right moment to strike a deal.
Speaking of opportunities, what about those nobles? They seem like a quick way to gain prestige points. Should we be chasing after them all the time?
Nobles can indeed be tempting, like shiny jewels that catch our eye, and their favor can certainly give you a boost in the game. But remember, focusing solely on attracting nobles can sometimes lead you astray.
It's like getting distracted by a beautiful butterfly while you're trying to build a house. You might end up with a lovely butterfly collection, but you won't have a roof over your head. Exactly. While nobles offer a nice boost, remember that the primary source of prestige points comes from those development cards, the building blocks of your gem trading empire. A balanced approach is key.
So it's like building a beautiful and functional house. We need strong walls and a sturdy roof represented by our development cards, and then we can add those decorative touches, those lovely butterflies represented by the nobles, to make our house even more impressive.
A perfect analogy. Don't neglect your engine building, those essential development cards, in pursuit of a quick noble visit. A strong engine will provide a steady stream of points, like a reliable source of income, and allow you to adapt to changing circumstances in the game.
This is all great advice. I'm starting to see how much strategy is involved in Splendor. It's like a game of chess, planning ahead, anticipating your opponent's moves, and making calculated decisions. But what about those moments when the game seems to be slipping away from you? Are there any comeback strategies we can employ, any tricks up our sleeve to turn the tide?
Ugh. Even the most skilled merchants face setbacks from time to time. It's like encountering a storm at sea or a bandit attack on a caravan route. But remember, a true merchant never gives up. If you find yourself trailing behind in Splendor, take a deep breath, assess the situation, and adjust your strategy accordingly.
So it's like taking inventory of our warehouse, seeing what goods we have, what we're missing, and what we need to acquire to get back on track.
Precisely. Sometimes a strategic shift is needed. Perhaps focus on acquiring cards that offer multiple bonuses even if they're not the highest level. Or, if you're close to attracting a noble, prioritize collecting the necessary bonuses, even if it means delaying your engine building for a few turns.
So it's like adjusting our sails to catch the wind, adapting to the changing tides of the game. We can't just keep doing the same thing if it's not working. We need to be flexible and resourceful, just like those ancient merchants navigating treacherous trade routes.
Exactly. Remember, even in the face of adversity, there's always a chance to turn the tide in Splendor. Keep a keen eye on the game's flow, the available cards, your opponent's moves, and seize opportunities as they arise. And most importantly, never give up.
This has been an incredible journey into the world of Splendor. We've unearthed ancient gems, traveled along treacherous trade routes, built our own merchant empires, and even learned some winning strategies from a true expert.
And through it all, we've discovered that Splendor is more than just a game. It's a reflection of history, economics, and the human fascination with beauty and precious stones. It's a game that challenges our minds, sparks our imaginations, and reminds us that even in the face of challenges, we can always find a way to succeed if we're resourceful, strategic, and never give up on our dreams.
Well said. And now our journey comes to an end. But the adventure doesn't have to stop here. Go forth, young merchant, and explore the world of Splendor for yourself. Discover the thrill of trading, the beauty of precious gems, and the power of strategic thinking. Who knows, maybe one day you'll build a gem trading empire that will be the envy of all. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep shining bright.